All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight and checking out that commercial. So, we have Stu Phelps. Did I get that
That's
right?
right.
All right, Stu
Yep.
Phelps with Neon the Ninja, and taking a first look at that, which is available on Steam.
That's right.
All
Early
right,
access.
early access on Steam. And but don't worry, I will be spamming all of you with that information here very shortly in all the chats. But before we do, let's do talk. No, wait, no. I'm going to talk about Stu real quick. Stu Phelps, UX designer by day and game designer by night. These last few years, he's been working on his personal project Neon the Ninja, which is a retro-inspired action/stealth game with artisan craft boss fights that will make you want to throw your controller in a good way. That should be interesting, you know. So, before we really get going along, I mean, yeah, you need to press A to quit your job. You know, I want to quit my job, but excuse the sloppiness here. I'm going to quickly minimize all this stuff, and I want to show you guys his video, which is really cool. Check it out. Here we go. All right, okay. Gotta love the drum and bass techno feel in that. All right, come back here. Come back here. Where are we? There we are. Full screen. All right, Stu, tell us. We're gonna take a first look at your game, and we're joined here by Andrew Greenberg. Say hello.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
And
Hello.
something else is playing in the background. I am so sorry about that. Let me shut that off. It is not supposed to be running. There we go. All right, cool. Sorry about that, folks. So, Stu, what got you
Yeah.
here to... well, tell us a little about Neon the Ninja. And let me turn my camera off so we can actually check out your game.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think every game developer probably has that one project that kind of represents where they came into, what got them excited about games as a kid. And this is pretty much my game. Like, it's the kind of game where you're not really making it to make money. You're not really making it to make a living. You're just kind of making it because you just have to make it. It's the thing you're passionate about. And it's like, if you make one game, this is the game you got to make. So that's what this game is for me. And I said retro inspired because it's very much based on that kind of early 90s console era, which is kind of the era that I was really into as a kid. Growing up with the NES, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. I didn't have all those as a kid, but between all our friends, we got to play a lot of great games on all those systems. And so, yeah, it's really much a throwback to that type of game design, that type of game. But it's not pixel art and chiptune music. It's, HD, hand-drawn graphics. I just have, like, this art style, and I just wanted to make the game development process take a lot longer. So I decided to draw everything out by hand, and then I have an amazing musician, playing guitars and composing these crazy songs for this game. It's a very eclectic soundtrack, and the thought is, what would the game developers do back then if they weren't limited by the technology? So it's kind of trying to capture the spirit of that game, but also, using tools that we have today. So.
Very,
Probably
very
my
cool.
overall primer. That's. I feel like the explanation went better than it usually does at convention.
Speaking of conventions, you were at MomoCon, yes?
Yes.
Tell us about
That
it.
was a lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. Showed some of the we showed some of the levels, the new content that isn't released there as well. But since the game is kind of like Mega Man non-linear style, we probably not very many people actually realized what content was new, because you kind of choose whatever level you want, which I'll show you in a second. But I guess I should probably go ahead and get started.
Sure, let's take a look at Neon the Ninja.
All right, so the first thing you see when you boot up the game is this screen, and this is kind of my little intro to kind of just throw some button ideas at you, so you kind of have a little quick download of, okay, this button does this button does that. But I wanted this to be super short and sweet. But it has come in handy at conventions, for sure, because people tend to not want to go and pull up an instruction manual.
You find your game better playable with a controller, or
definitely?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
okay.
Definitely. I'm using an Xbox controller just because that's the one I have around, an extra one, and it plugs into Windows. So I would say I recommend that just because that's been the most tested. But really, any controller is better than mouse and keyboard. Though I am supporting that. There's very few people who I think prefer that when it comes to this type of game. But I'm gonna press A to quit my job. And,
if only it was that easy for all of us.
Yeah. Well, now you have to make that actual decision of if you're gonna go back, if you're gonna leave that opportunity open. But I'm gonna press X to burn bridges. This is the part that I never actually do when I quit my job.
So if it were me, I'd be like, okay, X, burn bridges.
Now I'm gonna press A twice to double jump. I probably don't have to explain all this. It is written right there. So there's a stealth mechanic in my game, and that is essentially you blend into the same colored objects that you are in that level. So if you're orange, you blend into orange, as I did just there. And then once you're stealthed, then you can get a one-hit kill on people, and you can do stuff like this.
Oh, nice. Blood. We do love blood here on GGDA Live first stream. And I gotta warn you firsthand, when we do these first looks, I do keep score, or I do chalk up points whenever we find bugs. So to our viewers, whenever we find bugs, let us know in chat. And also be sure in chat, if you have any questions for our developer here, please be sure to post them in chat.
That sounds awesome. And bugs are good for me to find as well, so I know what to work on. So, if you're familiar with Mega Man or some of the other NES games did this as well. But Mega Man's really the one that's notable for this, and that's kind of the non-linear screen. Forgot. I have to go through that again real quick. I forgot. When I set up for the convention, I had it time out to go to the trailer pretty quickly. So I'll just run through this real quick. But what I was saying about the boss screen is that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. You have your choice of different bosses and different levels to choose. When you choose that level, you beat that boss at the end, you get a special upgrade that's unique to that boss. And then you can take that on with you to that next boss. So right now I only have 4 unlocked. It's an early access game, and I'm going to be adding this girl, that guy, and this guy in the near future. In the nearest future, I'm going to add in Big Kim.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, who are our character inspirations here?
Yeah, some from real life, but I didn't want that to limit me. I didn't want to necessarily base everything on reality. I'm sorry. I'm going to select the level very quickly next time I go over here.
No. Take your time. Take your time.
So just to be clear, you added Big Kim so you could get all those lucrative North Korea sales?
That's right. He's a 100% original character.
Awesome. So for our Korean viewers, annyeonghaseyo.
Okay, so I'm actually going to start off with the Patriarch here, because that's actually one that most people tend to choose. And it'll kind of set the tone, I think.
Oh, the Pope has fangs. Beautiful.
Yeah, so in this world, whoever gets to receive that Pope hat and actually get to wear the mantle of the Pope.
So what are your control buttons that you're hitting right now? What all are you hitting on your controls right now?
Oh, so you can jump, jump and attack. You have a 3-hit attack, so I could attack once, attack twice, or do that 3-hit kind of slasher combo. You got to do a lot of double jumps. Believe me, I've set up a lot of precision platforming in this game. And then I also have some things unlocked. So one of the upgrades is a dash, and you're going to see me use that fairly liberally because it's a lot of fun. The more well-versed you get with the game, the more you're going to use that dash. Believe me. And then also there's a little squid that's flying around me, and there's a little bot that's flying around me. Maybe I should have cleared out all these items, upgrades, but right now I'm playing with all the upgrades unlocked.
So you're seeing it here, folks. This is not how the game would start for you. This is if you had all of the bonuses.
I normally have all this stuff, but I can kind of do what I want, so I guess I'm playing in God mode, apparently.
The bonuses of being the dev.
The squid is going to be an extra hit point for me, so it'll be a 4th hit point. And then the bot up there you can trigger it to do, you can shoot lasers. And it can change colors. I'll probably not use that very often, though. I'm going to try to keep it to mainly just dashing around.
I do like the trailing effect you have on your player there.
Yeah.
Is that your dash?
Yeah, that's the dash.
All right, very cool.
So you got dudes with guns. A big part of it, this game, is really just getting close enough to kill the dudes with guns.
A little bit of blood there. Nice, love it.
Yeah. So, really quick, I'm going to show you the stealth mechanic. So if I hide in this blue item, this blue shield, since I'm a blue ninja, I can do this 1-hit kill on these guys. And once you kind of know to look out for that, they're kind of sprinkled throughout each level.
So to our viewers, there you go. There's your first little tip.
That's really the key thing to know about the game.
So how long have you been working on this game? Oh, did you die?
Yeah, I did.
Yes, the developer died. Awesome.
I'll probably die a few more times. I'm going to try to play a pretty relaxed take on it.
Quote unquote relaxed. So again, how long have you been working on this game?
A long time. I would say about 5 years.
Really?
Yeah, for about 5 years of nights and weekends. I come home from work and do a few things on this game. Or on the weekend, sometimes I'll have nice long weekends where I just get as much work as I can get done.
How much more do you want to do on it?
So, I am near the end of development, which is why I went into early access. Because I've touched every level, I've touched every boss fight, and definitely started, and they're well underway. But my boss fights definitely evolve, and I definitely try to outdo myself each one. But right now, these 4 levels and boss fights that I'm showing you are pretty set in stone. I'm just, I probably have some bugs to fix. But as for the most part, they're done. And I really just have, I don't know, the last 30% of the game left. So my plan is to finish all that within the year. So by this time next year, I'm hoping to have all that content complete. But I have a good idea of how long it takes me to do things, like to draw and animate and level design. But the boss fights are the one big unknown, as far as I really like to find something that's really interesting and really different with each one. And it can take me anywhere from 1 to 3 months to really nail that down for each fight. Is kind of what I've figured out. Whereas the levels are a lot more straightforward. They're more about kind of giving the information that you need to know before you get to the boss fight. like in this level, you have to deal with fireballs and wind, and it's because in the boss fight, you're gonna have to deal with fireballs and wind. So this whole level is kind of showing you what to expect.
So, did you go to college and study anything about game development in order to work towards this?
I definitely kind of just went for it. I'm sure the scope is as big as it is because I hadn't done a project this big before. I had done a couple of game jams. I read some books. I've read a bunch of stuff online, like what people say to do and don't. But I was definitely very rookie when I started it. Just a web designer with big dreams. But I kind of knew going in it was going to take me a while. So it actually got me excited to work on it because I could kind of go at my own pace. I didn't have any deadlines to deliver since it's part-time. Well, I still put self-imposed deadlines. That's actually a really good practice. But it's not like I had to worry about making money.
Right,
so
right.
There we go.
There we go. Yes.
I could kind of do what I wanted, and just kind of learn while I went. So I probably recreated the game like 3 times at this point. But I would say this form of the game really started in 2015, about middle 2015. But I think that's kind of like you build a few smaller games that kind of set you up for a bigger project, or you just kind of need a plan for rebuilding that project.
So did you release any of your smaller games?
Yeah, and I didn't really do smaller games. Like I did game jams, but I don't have much to show as far as like an app published.
Okay, fair enough.
But you know, a mobile game didn't really get me excited. This is what got me excited. So I think it's kind of about, or in my opinion, it's kind of like whatever gets you going. I don't know why, but a project this size is what was exciting enough for me to chip away at it for years. That was what was going to do it for me.
Yeah, that's the important part, keeping going for as long as it takes.
Yeah, because there's no way it's the right approach for everyone. I know other people would probably not want to spend as long on a game.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I love it.
So not to significantly increase your dev time, but what do you feel about releasing it on the consoles?
Oh, absolutely. That's the ultimate goal. That's the ultimate plan. This game is best on consoles, and I'm in the process of getting a couple dev kits. I can't really make any like actual announcements, but that is well in the cards. I really didn't want to approach early access on consoles for obvious reasons. So I'm thinking about this time next year, the game will be 100% complete, and that's when I'm going to really start that porting process. So.
Hey, you missed a couple secrets.
Yeah, I actually did a pretty bad job, to be honest, according to these stats.
I do like the apprentice art.
So you can hear there's some voice acting. I don't know how well you can hear that. But we actually have a great guy named Matt Shivers. But I wasn't sure if I wanted to do voice acting originally because I knew it kind of captured the tone I was going for, but I didn't know if it would be too much. I don't know, it would turn people off, if it's done wrong and it's not funny and you can't skip it. But kind of used inspiration from like fighting games where they have a little intro line before the fight. And that was kind of where we settled on it. And then I found Matt Shivers, who kind of captured the spirit exactly after I had a couple guys kind of try out their take on the role. And now I just kind of want to put his voice everywhere in the game, but I'm trying to make sure I don't. And so it's more like less is more, but you'll have about 20 different options when you go to a boss fight, or when you die a few times, you have like 30 different things he might say. But it's kind of a less is more to where you don't really hear him repeat as much, hopefully. I kind of just blew through that first phase. I don't even know.
Well, I do know a good handful of VOs here in Georgia that would say, yes, VOs are important.
Probably made that look a little too easy. But essentially, you had to get within range there to burn down his heat shield. and dodge that fireball. And then this kind of sets the tone. What I'm saying was every boss fight in the game has two kind of ridiculously different forms. So they might have multiple phases, but there's almost 2 fights in each fight. And this is the second form for this fight. And honestly, this guy is probably more by the book in-game boss battle, where he kind of has the fake death, and then he gets stronger, and you have to beat him even stronger. But my other bosses kind of go a little different. I kind of diverge and get a little weirder as I go along.
So for our viewers here, you are seeing how to beat the boss right now. Here it is.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really giving away all the secrets here.
You're good.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not exactly how you do it.
Too soon.
Because apparently even the dev can die.
I think he's just doing it to psych out players who want to do this as a cheat mode.
Yeah, right? For all our starry-eyed viewers who dream about making their very first game something to go on console, something is so epic, it's great to hear that it's been taking you 5 years to do so. And I'm going to throw one question in there. How is your game design document?
My game design doc? Sorry, I think the music is just a little hard for me to hear over.
Okay, yeah.
Boss fight music, apparently. But you were asking me about what my game design doc looks like?
Yeah, let's hear about it. I know, when I teach game design to my kids, they kind of scoff at the idea of having to write a game design document. How important do you think the role is with making your game?
That's a really interesting question, because I actually recently have been deciding my thoughts on game design doc for a possible next project. It was very beneficial to me in the beginning when I was still kind of brainstorming my ideas, and I think it was like a good way to kind of get out the bad ones quickly and then settle into something that got me excited. Like, here's my take on what I think Rome would look like and what that boss fight would look like. So I think it's a good way to kind of iterate quickly before you're in the code, but you also don't want to spend too much time in there, because you have to realize it's never going to be set in stone.
Definitely not. As Andrew taught me,
not all your assumptions will be proven wrong, but a lot more will probably be proven wrong than you would expect. So, I think there's a lot of good merit. I really do. I think it's just a matter of making sure it doesn't become law.
Pyrokinesis. Did I read that right? Pyrokinesis?
Pyrokinesis.
Pyrokinesis.
Yeah.
All right.
So basically, I get his fire shield, and it acts kind of like a Mario star.
Ah.
And now he's dead.
He is dead.
And it's his fire shield's like a temporary invulnerability, which I'll try not to use, because I should probably hold myself to a higher standard than to have all the stuff unlocked. So now I'd like to either show off Neo Cleo in Egypt or the Recluse in Antarctica. Or I can just do the intro because I forgot I set that up on the timer. It's really, really handy. I actually love that I can walk away from my setup at MomoCon. But I did forget to turn it off for this. But it was really handy at drawing some people over without me having to necessarily draw everyone over myself.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm going to go for Neo Cleo. The reason she's already scribbled off is she's the one I beat to get that dash originally. But this is a fun level to show off.
You just like beating the same one twice because you know you can.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to go back. Well, and that's the thing, you can always go back and get a higher score or a faster time.
I was going to ask you about the coin collection here. How does that
the content away?
I was going to ask you about the coin collection you got going on here. How does that benefit the players?
Sorry, the what?
The
coin collection.
Yeah, the coin collection you got going on.
So the coins right now really are just a point increase. The points are fairly arbitrary, but I kind of saw it as a cool way to have a separate type of speedrun value. So ultimately, I want speedrunners to play this game because games of this era are very speedrunner friendly, and that's kind of the people who ultimately go back to them time and time again after they beat it. So one thing I have is obviously the time, which I'm wasting right now. But the other thing is the score, and there's different ways to bump that score. Some is collecting all the items. Another one is I have a kill combo. So you see like a little kill flashes in the top left when I kill that guy, and I kill these guys. So if you get through and you kill fast enough, you can actually bump up your highest score. So actually, like, there could be a version of running this game where it's not just fastest time, but it's fastest time plus highest score. Would be the actual optimal way to get through it. So
our
really
score would be up there.
Other means to show how awesome you are at the game.
So our score would be right there at the top right-hand corner. Yes.
Yeah, the kill count.
Right. So my apologies to all of our viewers that our avatars are kind of taking up that. We are streaming this via screen share on Discord, and it's kind of hogging up the score. But we know it's 300 something.
Well, it's not a big deal. It'll be shown again at the end, so you can see how much better I should have done.
So speedrunning. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Andrew.
I was gonna say, let's keep talking a little bit more about the development process, so I can completely confuse you and mess up your speed run.
Yes.
So you basically did this as a 2D game in Unity, right?
Yeah, that's totally correct.
Now the Unity 2D tools have changed dramatically in 5 years. So
yeah, they really have. So originally, in order for me to get these sprites animated the way I wanted them, I needed to use the 2D toolkit. I think that was like the best asset back in the day, where it was really giving me the control and flexibility over the sprite and the sprite animations that Unity just did not have at all. I think after 5.0, though, Unity really beefed up their 2D stuff, and I'm using a lot. I actually went in and changed my physics to 2D physics and 2D collision once that was an option, and same with a lot of the sprites. Not some of the animations are still using 2D toolkit because it was kind of silly for me to go back and rework all of them, like the ones on Neon, for example. He has a lot of animations, so it'd be kind of silly for me to go back just to go back. But a lot of the newer stuff, it's so much quicker just to go in. I mean, you can set like world position, you can set GUI size. Like, there's so many options beyond just animate at this speed that make it so handy to use the new 2D stuff. And I say new, it's really not new anymore, but yeah, it's been interesting to see Unity evolve, and very much for the better for 2D. Yeah, I'm very excited that it's happened, to be honest.
Excellent. So, did it actually speed up your development, or just inspire you to keep adding more and more to it and making it a more robust, more powerful game?
Yeah.
A little of both.
I would say for the most part, well, I'm just gonna. Okay. I would say for the most, I think that was a bug, and I think I didn't want to give a chance.
Oh, come on, let me see the bug.
To show it, and I forgot you wanted me to show it.
Yes, I want to see bugs.
Went down there and died. But yeah, we can count that as a bug. I think the thing got stuck. I'm not sure though. I honestly just didn't give it a chance because my instincts just kicked in. But yeah, to answer your question, Andrew, I would say most of the benefits I've gotten are not necessarily functional, but they're more like polish, 2D particle physics. I think a lot of the stuff I was just doing, like the physics and stuff that I was using, were just basic rigid bodies. So a lot of that didn't really change. But when it comes to like a new boss fight that I would start now, like it's so much quicker for me to do it. I mean, some of that probably has to do with experience, but I think the Unity tools are just quicker than using 2D Toolkit and then 3D Collision, obviously. So I guess it's actually a little bit of both. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, because I mean, thinking about this from what Unity was 5 years ago, this would be a very different game. I mean, the play would be very similar, but the look feel would be very different.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, my first pass on the player controller was absolutely terrible, and I was trying to do way too much with the 3D physics. And I realized, it's 2D, it's basic, and the kind of game I'm making is stripped down, and stripping down has always been my guide. Like, how much more can I strip it down? How much, like, keep it simple, stupid, because, like, how many options do they really have with the type of game of that era that I was trying to do? Like, they really didn't have that many. They just had, like, certain, like, options to kind of move the pixel around, but they were very limited. So, really, I kind of found the simpler I keep things when it comes to boss fights and how, like, the AI and the physics, generally the better and more bug-free it is. So it's been a good rule of thumb for this game. So I got a lot of secrets that time.
Yeah, what did you do? Did you create a new one during the run? How'd you get 120%?
So that definitely counts as a bug. So I think I need to go and retool my secrets. That's one I have on my list. But if you die, so like the secrets before the checkpoint count, they save. Once you hit a checkpoint, they don't. But if you get potentially before your first checkpoint, you get a few secrets, it can go higher than that 100% based on how much value they have, because it can count it a couple times before you get that checkpoint.
Woo-hoo!
It's silly.
That's right, folks. Here on First Look, we score on bugs. We love bugs. What? You didn't build a perfectly developed game on your first try? Come on.
Yeah, and that's a really silly bug.
Well, I still love them. So, how many people did you have to help you develop this game? I know you've mentioned so far an awesome guitarist and a VO. Anybody else?
No, not really. I would say I've done 90% of everything else. Definitely a few friends of mine have kind of come in and helped me with a couple of things here and there. It's kind of like work for trade, like maybe. One of my friends, local Atlanta dev, who just released his game, Arbiter. It's a VR game that he just released.
Yes, shout-outs are always loved and appreciated.
I just breezed through that phase, dude. I don't even know if you guys noticed what I did to accomplish that, but that's probably fine.
That's all good, but I was just saying, yeah, all shout-outs and loves are appreciated.
Okay, good. Well, he helped me with the Steam integration, and that was mainly because I didn't want to have to learn the API, and I just wanted to keep my head down and focus on generating more content. And it was immensely helpful. To have somebody pitch in like that is pretty great. But when it comes to all the development and the art, I'm on it 99% of the time, and it's mainly because I don't want somebody to feel like I'm slowing them down, and also I kind of like the idea that I kind of have full control over this since it's my baby, so it's that as well. I'm sure
that's understandable as long as you've got 5 some odd years to dedicate to it.
That's the trick, right? Like if I had 5 people, it would have taken me a year, but the trade-off is if it's just you, expect to be in for the long run.
So let's talk about one of your major distractions, which is demoing this at conventions. How do you show this effectively at cons and other events?
Show what specifically?
The game. How do you show this off effectively? This is very much a play it and experience it game that we're doing a good job watching.
That's a good question. So it's tough because it's definitely I'm making it probably look way easier than it is, but there's a learning curve to it. So one of my challenges is just realizing it's not going to be for everyone, and that's fine. So some people are just they're gonna feel like they aren't playing it the way they should be playing it, or maybe they don't want to be, they don't have the skills, so they don't want to show it off, right? And it's not like I care, but some people just don't want to be in an event like that where they feel like they can fail. So one thing I've learned is to kind of not really force anyone and everyone to play my game. Really try to set the tone and explain to them it's retro inspired. You're gonna die a lot, and that's part of the fun of it. Trying to brand it as a controller thrower is a big part of it. Other things that I realized, and you can tell because this is a con build, I added that trailer to try to entice people, kind of show them what the game's capable of.
Splat.
And then I also unlock all the items, which is why I have all these guys flying around me, and I have the dash and stuff like that. So hopefully they feel like they have the lowest barrier of entry. It's even lower than when you boot up the game, because you're effectively more powerful when you have more items at your disposal in this game.
So one of my favorite questions that I ask all of the developers when it comes to these first looks is, what would you call one of your biggest aha moments or your epiphany moments while developing this game?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Well, one is definitely leaning into the difficulty factor. So I'm going to answer this one with two answers for this one.
You're allowed more than one epiphanies.
And the reason I realize that is because there are the people who enjoy my game the most, the ones who are actually excited about it the most, are the ones who really appreciate the difficulty aspect. And that's why they go back and play those old games. And for a little bit, I was kind of hesitant to lean into it too much because I wanted to make sure it was still accessible, and and just kind of had the potential for anyone to like it and play it. But I realized, if you water it down too much, then maybe nobody's happy. So one of the aha moments was, well, let's just fine tune it for the people who are the ones who are really actually excited about it. And then I'll go in and then later pass and try to figure out what an easy mode might look like, or a medium mode. Maybe it's just a normal mode, because my normal mode right now is like a hard mode. So I was definitely an aha moment, just kind of realizing, sometimes it's really just more important to take care of your people. It's a niche game, so take care of your niche. And then my second aha moment was just kind of realizing how much of an action game it really was. My first concept, I wanted this to be the stealthiest stealth, true to life ninja game, and stealth is on one end of the spectrum, and action's on the other end of the spectrum. And I was really at battle with myself and the game design for a while, trying to kind of figure that out. And then I realized, I really like the stealth kills, and that was the main thing I liked about the stealth. And I was like, well, what if I just make an action game with stealth kills? Because that's really what I want to make. And then that's kind of that was my aha moment, was I can do that. There's nothing wrong. It doesn't have to be one thing or another. You can make the thing that feels right. So.
Well answered. I have as well. I created a ninja game. Funny enough, at a game jam where, and I'm just sharing an experience here, but I was a level designer at this particular jam, and I was trying to make the levels too easy for our players, but yet our programmers and the rest of the team were like, no, this is way too easy. This is way too easy. We need to make it more difficult. We need to make it more difficult. And then when it actually came time for judgment, everybody who played it was like, they couldn't get far at all. So, I was like, okay. Yeah. But anyway, well answered.
Playtesting is hard. It's very hard with a hard game. Because the way I play right now is not the way anybody else plays. And then I have people like my music guy. He's better than 90% of the people I've seen play this game. And he plays it rarely, but he's just been around it so much, and he helps me test the levels out that he gets so used to it, So it's really interesting. So I'm trying to fine tune it for the people who are on the, who are actually pretty decent at it, the ones who have already bought the game on early access and are playing it and are clearing the content. But that being said, that doesn't mean it can't be improved for people who don't quite have a handle on it.
Well, as a viewer right now, I could very much be thankful that you are playing the game, not me.
Yeah, it may have not been as exciting. and may have been a little harder. It may have been easier for me to answer questions, but probably harder for anyone to experience the content.
Well, for all of our past viewers,
content that I wanted to show.
For all of our past viewers who have watched me try to play games, apparently I'm not the best. So.
Well, let's talk about some of this content because the art's beautiful. What
yes, it is.
To make the art.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you, Andrew.
The art's beautiful. What tools do you use to make the art?
Oh, thanks so much. You probably wouldn't be able to guess. I basically am making sprite sheets at the end of the day, but I'm doing it with tools that I have available to me that I'm very fluent in, being a web designer. So I'm sketching stuff out in pencil, really, really roughly, and then I go over it in Illustrator. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna die there. And then I go over it in Illustrator and I clean up the lines, and so I have the line art in Illustrator. And then in Photoshop, I paint everything, add some gradients, some glows, or whatever feels right to kind of give it a little more depth. And then you notice like there's actually a lot of texture to a lot of the environment pieces. I think that's really important, so it doesn't feel so flat. I have a lot of clouds, again, to try to add depth, and then a lot of particle effects too. So a lot of it, a decent amount of it is actually in engine with Unity, but the important thing is to have a good start. I'm gonna start that over again. With the sprite sheets themselves, and actually try to spend some time on some animation, get things looking right. I've definitely gone through a few iterations, and this is. I'm glad you like it. I always think there's something that could be changed about the way Neon looks or animates, but I had to let myself stop. I have to move on and create new stuff, and not just focus on the way he runs for 10 years.
Yeah, you always have to let go at some point. We were doing a game, Warhammer Final Liberation, which had giant titans and little marines and orcs on the screen at the same time. So the orcs were like 8 pixels high. How the heck do you make anything look like anything and then animate it in 8 pixels? So our artist and animator got frustrated, but finally realized he'd done basically as good as it could be done and let go of that angst.
Yeah, that's a tough thing, man. And I think I'm an artist first at the end of the day, so it's very hard for me not to over-polish something and make it look better, because I know it can look better or be more readable or, be more clear. Sometimes you see people not quite grasping something.
Well, even as a musician, I dare say an artist is never happy with his or her work.
And that's the thing, yeah.
So,
it could take another 5 years.
So on a personal level, how would you describe, when is a good stopping point? I know it's hard.
When everybody else says it looks good. Maybe not everybody else, but when people you trust say, man, you need to stop, or man, I think that's good enough. That's probably the best test. Because you need to listen to people. You need to play test the art just as much as you're play testing the game design and the. I think that's really what it is. Because I think there's a lot of games that maybe don't spend the time to make something unique. So I think that could also be a trap. But man, believe me, it's a rabbit hole, just like everything else in game development. So
we could call that a feature creep. You'd be trapped in your own art.
It is. It is. I'm actually going to bounce out of this level and show off the new content because I promised that.
Oh, yes. Let's dive into the new stuff where we might run into some bugs, right?
Yeah, and I realize we're not going to be here all night, so I don't want to not show anything new. That'd be terrible.
For those keeping score, apparently the GGDA only has 1 bug count so far.
1.5. There was another one we snuck by.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. There was what's it called? The cat, Schrodinger's cat bug. It probably was there, but we didn't see it. But I mean, considering I'm showing the game off, more than likely it was there than not there. So I'm really excited about this level, and I'm really excited about this bubble mechanic that I've done, because it's really fun to dash into these bubbles, and jump on these bubbles, and it's so silly, but I get a lot of enjoyment out of having an extra little jump. You also got these
nice.
explosive crates. So essentially, you're just dropped into Big Kim's factory, where we're assuming he's creating some type of military weapons.
Something nuclear.
Yeah. I mean, what's kind of silly is, and it really does go with the vibe of, I don't know, the kind of games that I like. It's very arcade, very like non-realistic. I mean, I don't really have a good reason as to why he's got these these belts dropping explosive crates into acid. Like, I don't know if there's a whole lot of value to that for him, whatever he's creating, but that's kind of the fun of video games.
Yep. We can just accept that they did this.
Yeah.
They're mad, 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 kind of like game devs.
Yeah. Typically, just the sillier, the better. I found with this
More
with this
over
game.
the top.
'Tis not the reason why, but to do or die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the VO really adds a lot.
Yes, was gonna just comment on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been kind of skipping through it, but yeah, it really does. And when I've gotten nothing, I've really gotten nothing but love. They want more from anybody who's played the game, and it's really great because, again, my initial fear was like, man, if I do it wrong, it's just gonna be something that people don't like about my game, you know? So that's why I got a professional.
How often do you find yourself playing your own game just for the heck of it, not for playtesting purposes?
For the heck of it, it's a pretty strange experience because honestly, I'm trying to throttle myself. I could actually probably beat the whole game in like 15 minutes. So I'm just trying to like kind of actually leisurely play it. But it's fun. And this level is actually more exciting than the other levels for me because it's newer. There's stuff, you know, this one I'm probably going to still tweak a few times when it's released, depending on how people play test it. I will say that people playtesting this at MomoCon, the level actually felt pretty good. People seem to really. Oh, look at that! There you go. There's the graphical bug.
Oh.
But people seem to really like this one. So now you're gonna see the real thing that has that's going on with this factor. And Kim's getting into genetic experimentation, and mainly squid-based for some reason.
Okay, sushi.
Because. And yeah, you remember that squid that was following me around? That's going to be your upgrade when you beat this guy. Because I kind of got on the squid tangent for this level, and
I'm a big fan of it not being more hit points, but more squid points.
There was just a point where missiles got boring to me, and I don't know when that was. I guess it was around there, actually.
And so for all our viewers, you can definitely check out early access on Steam here, Neon the Ninja. Let me go on to for all of those late viewers. But steampowered.com or Neon the Ninja is the best way to search for it.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Meanwhile, to our viewers, I am going to slam you a link. There you go. Or at least you can go to neontheninja.com to find out more on this game and all of its links.
Yep, and my plan is to update new content every 2 to 3 months. That's always my goal. It's always what I'm shooting for, but I'm not ever going to... Like, this update's nearing the end of 3 months, and it's mainly because I just wanted it to be perfect. So at the end of the day, it's quality over quantity, but know I'm always excited to work on this. It's in early access, but the main reason I wanted to get in early access was to get some good feedback on it. And, you get some invested feedback, and that's exactly what I need. So,
Have you gotten any media coverage at all?
Other than tonight.
There were definitely a few streamers when I first initially launched. And I reached. What happens is I stop reaching out to people when I start getting heads down on the project. But yeah, I've definitely had a couple people pick it up and stream it and enjoy it, and it's been cool to see them play it. Because again, like anytime I have a new boss or a new level, it's so good for me to just analyze everything that they're doing, so I can improve it. So that area I really like. I'm gonna do it again real quick because of how much I want to get. I think this is my favorite part of this level. Oh, I can't. I got the checkpoint, so I'll go down here and okay, this is good enough. But basically, what's going on is there's baby squids in this level, and if you pop eggs, they start chasing you, and you have to deal with that. So they're not super hard to kill, but if I actually pop them all, they can definitely add up. So, I was kind of just going through not doing that, but I don't know. When I realized a static enemy like that mixed with the rotator belts, it was a very kind of an aha moment for level design. I was like, this could be cool.
Very, very cool.
A lot of bouncing in this one. Oh, see? They got me.
I am definitely seeing some different styles of AI. I guess, how much focus did you have like in designing the AI and determining what kind of AI you would have for each different enemy?
It's the stupidest kind possible. I will say the guys with guns are a level above, so they do actually, they know they have to see you, and you have to be in range for them to be activated. Then you have to be close enough for them to see you, and then they have to see you. Once they see you, they check to see if they can aim and hit you, and then if they think they can, they shoot. So that's the most complicated AI. I would say even the boss fights are probably more straightforward than those gun guys, and then of course those are the guys that probably have the most tweaking and bugs overall because of the interesting scenarios. These guys, these like baby squids, they don't really do much. They just follow you in a path that I thought was cool. It's kind of like an up-down pattern, and they turn on and they turn off. Their electrical thing.
Very cool. Oh, hey, here we go. Are we at a boss?
They're more basic.
Very cool.
I have a bunch of ninja grades, and I'm hitting all the apprentice grades, so that'll tell you something about how great I'm doing.
So within the last 5 minutes we got here, any special features or anything you really want to show off?
I'd like to tease this boss fight for sure. And we don't have to show everything, but
show it all.
I've been talking about a squid, right? So,
right.
Kim's been doing a little bit of a cloning. It seems to be his goal is to clone himself, immortality, right? But he's also dabbled in a giant squid monster. So there you go. I went pretty much 100% squid in this level. So the first form is all about kind of attacking these tentacles, trying not to die. And I think this fight's pretty challenging, but also feeling pretty good. Yeah.
Brian, that looks like a good drummer there.
Uh-huh.
More like a drummer than a squid.
Yep, he's got his paradiddles down.
Yeah, and I'm probably bypassing the stealth stuff. But yeah, this is a boss fight that definitely uses that stealth so that you can reach that brain to kind of tap at it. That's the little secret thing. That's the thing that people usually have an aha moment with, but I'm just kind of bypassing because I know the game I made.
Tapping the squid brain.
Yes.
That's an interesting
terminology. There you go, viewers. You just got a key, or it's a nice little secret.
You hang out to the end, you get the little trick that you might need later.
And also, for any of our viewers, if you have any questions for our developer here, Stu, be sure to put them up in chat so we can pass them on.
Lexsmith 101 had a good comment, noting that the squids are like the jellyfish in Risk of Rain, except the jellyfish go faster when they're near you.
Nice. Yeah, I think I played that game a bit. I never was very successful. I didn't have any great runs in it.
Did you throw your controller?
Well, I just didn't have enough great runs in it. I didn't dedicate enough time to it, but it's definitely a cool game. But that's pretty awesome. I think probably more of an inspiration was just the fact that Mario had squids. I was thinking about how they move around the swim level, and I was like, maybe that could be something, but like it's not swimming. But yeah, I don't know. There's something very grotesque and weird about jellyfish and squids and their skin consistency, which I really tried to play up in this too. I'm telling you, textures, man. If I didn't have all that weird texture on this guy, he wouldn't be nearly as interesting. But yeah, I guess we're coming near the end of the time.
Yeah, we were all kind of patiently waiting to see if you would kill him or not.
I can give it a go. Yeah, let me try to do it real quick. All right, I'll try to do it real serious. It's not easy. The main thing is the first, second phase are pretty good. Well, that didn't work out for me. So yeah, basically the key is you can whittle these things down pretty quickly, back and forth, but you just have to keep an eye on your surroundings. So the first phase is not a big deal once you kind of know what to do, right? But then the second phase, you start getting all these little bubbles with the squid. Okay, yeah.
When the dev can't beat his own boss.
Try to talk and play, man. It's not helping.
That's all right. It's better you than me right now.
Beat the first phase. All right, here we go. Second phase. Just need to take out some legs, and I need to do it quickly because the bubbles are coming, and the bubbles have guys, and they complicate things. That's just bad timing. When you try to, honestly, if I was slower, I'd probably be better off to catch some of those cues. All right, so this is actually that would probably count as a bug right there, by the way.
Woohoo! Chalk up another score.
So this is the real tricky part. So this guy, you can only stealth kill. This big guy, or the bigger squid following me.
Right.
Oh man! And so you really have to never get hit by him and juggle everything else. So yeah, I think I'm running out of time.
That's all right. We'll give you a quick moment of silence to concentrate on your own game.
This is the fight that might be. It could be on the cusp of being too hard. I'm not gonna lie, but hopefully it's not. But you kind of got to start hard and work your way back with a game like this. Sorry, I'm gonna give it one more shot, and then we'll call it.
Doing good so far.
I have beaten it a few times, so it's not that it hasn't happened.
One last chance. Oh, he doesn't make it.
Ganged up on me.
Oh.
We'll call it. That was it, though.
Yes, release the Kraken as is posted in chat here. Awesome. Well, Stu, we really appreciate taking a first look at Neon the Ninja. And again, for all of our viewers, you can definitely check it out on Steam Early Access as of right now, which is June 5th, 2018. For you late viewers, later, in the years, because we know this game is going to be out there forever. Here it is. You get to take a first look. But I'm supposed to be working controls here. Meanwhile, hey, what are we looking at?
Sorry. I didn't quite hear what you said.
I was just wondering what we were looking at just then. Are you playing?
Oh, yeah, this is the trailer. Oh, actually, that's my desktop. Sorry.
Oh, desktop was
That's the trailer,
Ninja Turtles. Hey.
Yeah.
Definitely a fan of ninjas, aren't we?
Honestly, like one of the games I go back to very often. Obviously Mega Man, obviously Ninja Gaiden, but the Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time arcade game. Huge influence on this game.
Awesome. Awesome.
Alexis 101 says that the squid is very much like a Frankenkraken.
Yep.
All right, so real quick, I'm going to run through my little spiel. Thanks to our Patreon, Stephen Kofi, Burton Posley, Lee Friedman, James Simpson, which you can find his game at Snarf Quest, Trey Carpenter, and Joe Casaval, which you can find his games by Puzzles by Joe. The GGDA, we are a non-profit organization, so you can find us at patreon.com/Georgia Game Devs, and your support will help us with efforts to improve game developers and their community, as well as helping bring better games to life, like Neon the Ninja. All right, okay. Our stream is for gamers looking to learn more about what goes into making their favorite games, whether it takes you 5 years by yourself or 5 days or 5 months with a team, right? It's also for new designers looking to break into the industry, and it's also for experienced designers looking to improve their skills. And sometimes certain levels of our Patreon members get to join us on our live streams vocal chat. Right, Andrew?
That's right.
That's right. So moving right along, GGDA, you can get in touch with us on social media. That's Twitter and Instagram at GGDA_org. Or you can find us on our Facebook page, which is group facebook.com/groups/ggda.org. You're going to hear me say ggda.org a lot because that is our website. If you're in Atlanta within the first weekend of October, come check out Siege. You can find more information at siegecon.net. And let's see here. Oh, you must check out this shirt. Unfortunately, Stu was not wearing this shirt. Otherwise, he would have had more HP. But you can find... That's right. And all of our other streamers who have I've played their games, they do confess that the shirt does give you more HP. The coffee cup will give you more intellect. But you can find cool stuff like this for GGDA at cafepress.com. Otherwise... that's right. Also, can't forget to mention YouTube, Mixer, Twitch. You can find us at the /Georgia Game Devs. Please hit that like, subscribe, and follow buttons. It really helps us out. We really appreciate your support. And once again, Stu, we can find your stuff. Tell us we can find your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, first of all, thanks so much for having me on. I should have said that already, and I just really appreciate it. But yeah, my stuff, neontheninja.com. You can search Neon the Ninja on Steam. And my Twitter is STUHP84. That's probably the best way to get in touch with me if you have any questions. I started a Discord for Neon the Ninja, but I don't know what I'm doing yet. But feel free to check that out as well.
All right, there you hear it from the source, and for everybody else, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I'm going to throw another commercial in your face, and in the meantime, once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and have a very good night.